Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to explain to you all, since we've gotten a lot of new community members here in the last couple of weeks, why it is that I take out some of the portions of our live streams and put them out as a second video, I guess you can say. The reason is because I understand that many people don't have the time to sit through a 2-hour video. Now, I do appreciate all of you that do come onto the live streams. We have a lot of fun together, and I would encourage you that if you didn't participate in the live stream, that you try to participate in the next one. It's a lot of fun. However, having said that, I take out the portions of the live stream that have the message that I wanted to put out for that day. And the reason I put it up is because I think it's an important message for everyone to hear. So I hope that you enjoy this part of yesterday's live stream, and I hope you get something out of it. I left a link to an interview that I had a few days ago with a pretty cool channel. Really nice person on there. The host, really nice guy. He's from, I believe it's North Dakota. All right, don't quote me, but I believe it's from North Dakota that he resides in. He works in the oil fields, and thankfully he still has a job. So, and the name of the channel begins with Milky Way. All right, Milky Way something. I'm sorry, I'm senile. All right, and I had an interview. It was great. Had a great time. He's got a very nice community there. And I left the link of that interview in the description of this video, and I'll go ahead and put it on a pinned comment after this live stream is over. That way, if you all want to go and visit it, you can go and visit it. All right. I'll also put it on the community page real quick. And he told me that someone in his community, that they gave up prepping. And I'm like, really? Why did they give up prepping? And he said because they were prepping for Nibiru. Remember that Nibiru thing? Or I think it's also called Planet X. I'm not sure if it's the same thing. But they were prepping for Nibiru. And from what I understand, if Planet X comes and hits our planet, there's no reason to prep for that. That would be a catastrophe that would pretty much end all human life on Earth. Okay, so and I told him that. I said, well, that's why he gave up. He said, yeah, he gave up on prepping. He said he's done. He was prepping for Nibiru and nothing ever happened. And all of the food that he got, it went bad and he had to throw it out. He lost a lot of money. And he's not prepping anymore. And I'm like, well, I can tell you why he's not prepping anymore. And the reason why he's not prepping anymore is because he set himself up for failure, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty much as simple as it is. He was prepping for one event. And in my opinion, and I'm not throwing this person under the bus, I don't even remember his name, right? I just remember the conversation. He was prepping for the end of the world. So why would you prep for the end of the world? Your prep for the end of the world should already be done. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your prep for the end of the world should already be done. When you look at yourself in the mirror every morning, you should be able to comfortably tell yourself, yes, I'm ready for the end. I'm ready for it. But that has nothing to do with food. It has nothing to do with water. All right, it has nothing to do with the 5 B's of prepping. 5 B's of prepping. All right, it has everything to do with how have you lived your life? How do you feel about who you are and what you've done on this physical world while you've been here? All right. Have you done what you feel is right? Are you comfortable that if you left today, that you would be okay in your own spiritual world, whatever world that may be that you call it, right? Because different people call it different things, right? So that's, to me, is prepping for the end of the world. But if you're prepping for a life extinguishing event, you know, an end of life event on Earth, then you're prepping for the wrong thing. So for those of you that may be new here, and let me go ahead and thank every new community member. So we're at like 110,000 Alaska Prepper community members, and that's awesome, ladies and gentlemen. There was a time when I didn't really care about numbers, right? And the more that I started thinking about it and the more emails that I got, I'm like, you know what? Yes, I want our numbers to rise. Not so that our moderators can have a more difficult time scanning through the comments. Not for that. But because that means that more people are hopefully waking up. You see, for every person that decides to click on that subscribe button, what that tells me is that's one more person that hopefully, besides it being a troll, that's one more person that hopefully recognizes that we do need to be prepared. But not for the end of the world, right? We don't need to buy food and water and medicines and first aid stuff and protection. We don't need to buy that stuff for the end of the world. We don't need to stock up on that stuff for the end of the world. We need to stock up on that stuff for tomorrow or for next week or for anything that may happen. You see, preparedness is more about you being able to sustain your standard of living in the case of a crisis. It could be a crisis as small as a person losing their income, right? I remember reading an email from someone who told me that she was living in her car. She was actually a winner of one of our giveaways, and that she was living in her car, but that because she had lost her home. I don't remember what the reason was, but she said that because she had prepped away food and she had it in a storage closet, that she didn't have to worry about going hungry. That she could, instead of using resources to buy food, that she could instead use those resources to accumulate some funds to get back up on her feet and then maybe find a home, a new home, right? Be it an apartment, be it whatever, right? So when we prepare, ladies and gentlemen, I'll say it one last time, it's not for the end of the world. We prepare for tomorrow. We prepare for our families to be able to sustain a standard of living that does not have to match that of a third world country. That's why we prepare. We prepare for personal SHTF, if you call it that, to a local SHTF. Like, for example, I remember here in Michigan early this year, I think it was in May of this year, where they had a dam that flooded. I think it was, I forgot the name of the town, but it wasn't far from where I used to live when I lived in Michigan. We prepare for things like that we cannot personally control. We prepare for a regional crisis, like what happened in Texas, where pretty much most of their state went down because of that cold freeze that they had here. I believe it was in February of this year. And we can also prepare for national crisis, just like they did back during World War II, where people that were not prepared had to suffer through the rationing that was being made by the government. That's what we prepare for. We can also prepare for other things, like international crises. What happens if we get into a conflict with another nation? Things will be rationed. And we will have those things that we rely on a regular basis, and it will not disturb our standard of living as much as it would if we didn't have those things. That's what preparing is for, ladies and gentlemen. In my opinion, it's not to prepare. It's not to go and get $10,000 worth of long-term foods, put it away, and never use it. You see all those cans back there? Most of them, at least the ones on top, all of these cans back here and these right here, they're empty. All right, they're empty. I just put them in there, and I actually have some stuff in one of them, or in some of them. I actually have if you saw me do a payday prep here a while back where I have some can openers, they're in one of those cans. All right, I have some stuff put inside of them, but they're empty. One of them I think has my coffee in it, some coffee, extra coffee in it. But anyways, they're empty. Why? Because I rotate through them. Why? Because I like this stuff. It's good for you, right? So I rotate through them. But rotate what you have, ladies and gentlemen. Don't just buy something and put it away forever, right? Eventually, it's going to go bad. Eventually, some things will go bad sooner than others. Some things will last a very long time. But if you're not rotating what you have, then I believe that you're doing it wrong to a certain extent. Prepare for tomorrow. Prepare for your families. Don't prepare for the end of the world. Because if you do that, you will be discouraged. If you do that, you will find yourself being one of those people that wants something bad to happen just so that you can use your preps. And that, ladies and gentlemen, just makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. None whatsoever. Now, do I feel that we need to continue to prepare? Absolutely. Now more than ever. I do believe that in this time that we are right now, that we need to prepare more than in any other time in the last 4 years that I've been hosting this channel. I just put another batch of beef and chicken into my freeze dryer this morning. So I've got a batch in there right now. So not only am I talking the talk, and you all know I like to talk, but I am definitely walking the walk. I already called Nutrient Survival. Yesterday I talked to Becky and I said, Becky, if I place an order next month for this amount of food, will you be able to fulfill it in a timely manner? And the reason I do that is because I want to make sure that they are taking care of their regular customers, like the people that ordered the AP kit. I want to make sure that those orders go out first before anything that I put in, because I want to make sure that those people are satisfied with the customer service and how long it took for them to get that stuff. So whenever I'm going to put an order in, I put an order in once a month. And this next month here, well, we're in October already. I haven't placed my order for October yet. But as soon as she tells me that they're all caught up, I'm going to place my order for October. And I'm going to buy a good amount of food. Why, ladies and gentlemen? Because I know two things for certain. The one thing that I know 100% that's certain is that I'm going to use that food. I'm going to use it, whether there is a crisis or not. I'm going to use it because I rotate through it. The second thing that I can tell you that I know for sure, maybe at about a 95% for sure rating, I guess you can call it, is that we are going to need that food. We are going to need the food that we put away. Here, it may be in the next year. It may be in the next 2 years, or 3 years, or even 5 years. Who knows? But I'm pretty certain that we're going to need that food.